Welcome back to my channel. My name is Melanie and I make videos about living in Copenhagen. Today you find me sitting in the corner of my garden next to my vegetable patch, and I'm going to talk about something that's a little bit personal, but I'm also going to show you something of Copenhagen at the same time. Now, some of you who may have been following my blog, which I've been writing for many years, may remember that in 2015 I had quite a serious cycle accident. I can show you on my arm there, I still bear the scars of it, and I was knocked from my bike by another cyclist, and I had quite a lot of, well, a very long surgical intervention to try and put my arm back together, and then I've had various other things through the years, and the result of all of this was I ended up with quite severe nerve pain in my arm. And I tried to deal with this with various different kinds of pain medications, some of which came with their own problems. I was given quite strong opioids to use, and that was something that really didn't work for me. And I had to go through quite a painful process of stopping using those. And I started to, I was prescribed medicinal cannabis, which was practically a game changer for me at the time. It meant that I was no longer in excessive pain all of the time. And I've been using that for quite some years. But I started to feel that I was being very much defined by my injury, by my pain, and it was holding me back with a lot of the things that I wanted to do. So just after the lockdown ended here, and I have to admit it was I found that pretty tough. It knocked my mental health quite severely, and coming out of it I decided that I needed to make some changes. I needed to be actually the one that was in control of my life. So I made the decision to start coming off of the medicinal cannabis, and I stopped taking it quite so often. Didn't really feel much difference, so I took less and less, and now I don't take any of it at all, and I don't actually have any significant pain in my arm. I've also been having physiotherapy and been working out at the gym, which has also helped a lot with the pain. And I started to think, I hadn't been on a bike since that fateful day when I had the accident, and I wanted to cycle again. I felt I was missing out on some things, and I wanted to get my son more active, and he likes cycling but didn't really want to go cycling on his own all the time. So I thought, well, I need to get a bike. But I didn't want to spend a lot of money on buying a bike in case when I got on it I had any kind of element of post-traumatic stress disorder and I was terrified and couldn't do it, and then I spent all this money on a bike. So, and this isn't a sponsored post, but I saw people were doing a kind of a rental scheme, and I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right because it's a Dutch word, but it's Swattifits, and you can rent the bike and you rent it each month, and I think it's costing me, including the basket I have on the front of it, around 170 crowns a month. That's around £16 a month. I chose to do the flexible program, which means I can give the bike back at any time. I just pay the monthly fees, I give them a month's notice. They also have a great app where anything goes wrong with the bike, I just go on the app, let them know through the app, and somebody comes and sorts it out for me. So for me, it was great. It was a flexible thing I could do. If I got on the bike and I really couldn't do it, I just gave them a month's notice and they could take it back. Now, the first few times out on the bike, I will be very honest, were pretty nerve-wracking. I did a lot of, don't come out in front of me, don't do this, about people around me, and was quite nervous. But I thought, I can do this, I actually can do this. I need to get over this fear of being on the bike. So I've been out a few times, and some of them, yes, I was shaking, slightly tearful, but I went out with my son and he was super supportive and really, really helped me with it. And Monday just gone, we cycled from our home all the way over to the Amager Nature Centre, which is near Vestamager, and I'm going to show you some footage of what we did out there. And we cycled, I think, around 15 kilometres, and that was a game changer for me. I really found that the confidence, I was back on the bike, as they say, you know, you never forget how to ride a bike, and I thought, yeah, I can do this, and I was really, really happy. And with the scheme that I'm doing, I probably won't keep the bike over the winter because I don't really think I'm going to cycle when it's very cold and wet, and then I can just start it again in the spring. So that was a brilliant thing for me to do. Then I started thinking, well, there are other fears that I have that are holding me back. I don't like water. I learnt to swim when I was 30, but as soon as I don't swim for a while, all those fears of being in the water come back, and it's almost like I have to learn all over again. And this, again, was holding me back from something I wanted to do, which was stand-up paddleboarding. And my son and my husband had tried it out the summer before COVID struck, and it was something that they thought that they might like to do and to get our own boards to do it with. And I was thinking, oh, I'd be too scared to do that. But then, well, I was too scared to get on the bike. Did that. So yesterday we went up, my son and I, up to Amager Strand, and I rented myself a buoyancy jacket thing. They don't call them life jackets because they're not supposed to save your life, they're just supposed to keep you bouncing in the water if you fall off. And we pumped up his stand-up paddleboard, we took it over, we went to the lagoon area where it's really, really peaceful and it wasn't too windy, and he got on it, and he's got a lot of confidence. I think that's another thing that I've noticed, that for many years he was a bit sort of reticent to try things, and more recently he's become much more willing to try stuff, and I thought, well, I can do it too. So I got on the stand-up paddleboard with him and he paddled me along. At first I was nervous, to say the least, and I was like, I can't do this, take me back to the shore, take me back to the shore. But then I thought, take a deep breath. What's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to fall off. You've got this buoyancy aid, you're not out of your depth at this point, you can just stand up and come out of the water. So he paddled me up very gently a couple of times, and from starting clutching on with white knuckles, I started to relax, went up and down, and then I hopped off, let him do it by himself, and he came down and I said, right, I want to have a go on my own. So I got on, sat on. I'm going to show you some footage while I'm talking to you. And again, I was a little bit nervous, but I got used to what it felt like. I knew I wasn't going to fall off. So I paddled myself up and down. I was getting quite fast at it. I didn't stand up this time. So for me, it was a kneel up paddleboard. But next time we go out, I'm going to stand up and I'm going to do it. And I can do these things. So the last thing on my list of fears to overcome. Now, I've said this when I've been talking about this with my family, that there are some fears I just don't want to overcome. I don't want to do things. I don't want to go monkey and climb up in the trees with a harness on. I just don't want to do that. So I don't want to overcome that fear of heights to do it. But if I really wanted to do it, I know I can. And the last one is swimming. I'm going to get back to the pool, and I've got to an age now where I think I have, I don't get easily embarrassed in front of strangers. I might get embarrassed in front of people I know, but even then not that embarrassed, but I don't get embarrassed in front of strangers because, quite honestly, most people are too busy thinking about themselves and not about everybody else. So I'm going to go back to the swimming pool that I used to swim at. They have a sort of a shallowish sort of small pool at the end. It's in Easterborough. I can be up to here, so I'm in my own depth. I'm quite happy to use a flotation aid at first, a float or a pool noodle or something like that, just to get myself confident in the water again. And I want to swim again, and this time I'm going to push myself a little bit further, and once I can, and I've got the confidence in that sort of shallow pool, I'm going to take myself into the deeper pool, and I'm going to swim, and I'm going to swim out of my depth. So that's my goal. Now, I'm 46 years old, and I don't think that you're ever too old, not that I'm old anyway, but ever too old to try and do new things or to challenge yourself. You know the expression, you can't teach an old dog new tricks? Well, I think that's absolute rubbish. Of course you can. If you really want to do something, you can do it. People who make excuses for not doing things, that's just what it is. It's an excuse. You can always find a way to do something if you really want to do it. And I really want to do these things, so that's what I'm going to do. Now, I've talked a lot here, and whilst I've been talking, I've been showing you some footage of me on the bike and an Amager Nature Centre, and I hope that by listening to this, you yourself, you might think, what's there something that I'm afraid to do? Is there a fear that I can overcome? And by overcoming that fear, will something be better in my life? Will I be able to do something that I will enjoy, that I've been stopping myself from doing and stopping myself from enjoying? And if that is the case, and there is that one thing that you think that you really would like to do, I mean, take this, talking at the camera. Just a few years ago, someone said to me, oh, you should start a YouTube channel. I went, oh no, I don't like being in front of the camera. I don't like my voice. I don't like this. They were just excuses. Look at me, I'm doing this. My hair doesn't always look perfect. I've been to the hairdresser, so it's looking a little bit better now, but I might not always look how I want to look. Earlier this year I was extremely thin. I didn't like how I looked. I've gained some weight and I feel like I look healthier now. But I didn't let that stop me. So please, if there's something that you feel, there's something stopping you from doing it, just try it. Just give it a go. And I'd love to hear in the comments below if there is something that you would love to do that you feel that you're being held back for some reason, or something that you think, yeah, I'm going to try that. So I'd love to hear from you. I hope you've had the patience to get to the end of this long kind of monologue. And whilst I've been talking, I have been showing you some of the wonderful nature places down at Amager Nature Centre. It's a great place to walk or cycle. I mean, when we were down there, we saw a lot of, what I would consider sort of older people, 70, 80, maybe not 80, city, but you know, definitely retired people just walking down there, and it's an easy place to walk or cycle. You're off the road, perfect for families, perfect for people of all ages. So hope you've enjoyed that. I hope that perhaps you found what I've been saying a little bit interesting, maybe a little bit inspirational, I hope. And until next time, bye for now.